Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome folks, Today the Hungry Gamer is back with another how to play video, and today we're talking about Outflanked, published by Chenoweth Games, designed by Aaron Goodwine and David Scherer. And I do apologize if I mispronounced those names. And before I get started, please do turn on your clan subtitles, because if I make any mistakes, that is where you'll find those corrections, or if things change between now and the publishing of this game. Additionally, I do need to point out that what you see here is still in the prototype phase and is also subject to change. What this game is this is a 2 to 4 player game in which you are trying to control the board. And it's a very simple game of placing down cards and covering other people's cards. At the end, I will talk a little bit about some of the possible stretch goals of this campaign, as well as some of the variants. For now, I'm going to show you how a 2-player game works, and to do that, I will use the yellow and the purple decks. And so I'll move these to the side. The first thing that you'll do is you will shuffle up all of your cards. And then each player will draw 3. And I will place yellow over here, and I will place purple over here. Then each player is going to look at their cards, and you have a chance to do a mulligan or a redraw if you have no cards that have an orthogonally facing arrow. In other words, what that means is this card right here is only facing a diagonal, so if all of my cards were like that, I could do a redraw. But as you can see, both this card here and this card here do have arrows facing orthogonally. Additionally, you can do a redraw if you count up all of your arrows and you have less than 5. In this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so I could not do a mulligan for yellow. And I will place these cards over here, and I will keep them face up just for this tutorial, though they would be secret information. And we'll check purple here as well. And purple also has arrows facing orthogonally and has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this means that they too cannot take a mulligan. The first thing that you do is choose who's going first, and you do this in any random method that you so choose. For now, I'm going to pick the cat is going first. And the first thing that you will do is you will place one of your cards face up on the starting spot closest to you. So, just for the sake of argument, the cat's going to place this one here and is going to rotate it this direction, like so. Then they will draw back up to 3 cards. And purple is going to do something similar and is going to place just like that. Then, on your turn, you are allowed to place one card that is orthogonally adjacent to another card that you already have on the board and is pointed to by an arrow. In other words, yellow could place here or here. They could not place there because that's not orthogonally adjacent, and they cannot place here because there's no arrow pointing that direction. So we'll just say they'll place right there. Then purple would do the same thing, like so. So now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit so we can see how the game plays once you get into it and people are next to each other and able to start replacing each other. All right, now that we've gotten to this spot here, and you'll note I accidentally flipped who was going first. For this example, that does not matter. Now we're at the place where you can start replacing another player's cards. To do that, you have to follow all the normal placement rules, in other words, orthogonal and an arrow pointing to it, but you must also place a card that has fewer arrows on it. So if it was yellow's turn, yellow could do this right here. Because the card is orthogonally adjacent and it only has 1 arrow as opposed to 4. And just like any other time, once I place it, I could orient it however I so choose. And for the sake of argument, we'll say I will place it like that. And what's going to happen is you're going to continue play back and forth like this until eventually one player's deck runs out. When a player's deck runs out, all players get equal number of turns, and then the game will end. The game will also end if for some reason a player is not able to make any legal move on the board. Once that happens, whichever player has more visible cards will be the winner, and if there happens to be a tie, then you count up the number of arrows, and whichever player has the most arrows will win. Now let's talk about some of the variants. If we were to play a 3-player game, one player would simply start on one of these two sides, and just like in the 2-player game, they would start out by placing one of their cards, just like so, on their starting spot. However, the difference is, whichever player is facing the empty side of the board will start the game with 4 cards in their hand instead of 3. However, they only draw whenever they have less than 3 cards. If you are playing a 4-player game, then you very simply have the 4th player start on the 4th side of the board and then play proceeds exactly as it would in a 2 or 3-player game. The final variant has to do with these potential stretch goals. Backers may get a chance to unlock these 4 stretch goal cards. These cards are very simple. They have a little bit of flavor text down at the bottom, and they have a once per game ability that you will be able to activate whenever you want on your turn. And that's how this game works. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.